Welcome to episode 85 of the Brew Crew Scoop. Last week we were talking about a 6-game losing streak that got turned into 2 wins at the end to kind of salvage that week. They rolled that into this week to make it 4 in a row. But unfortunately, it was only a 3-3 week when it looked like it could have been slightly better than that. So, um, Brewers are sitting at the bottom of a very good, up to this point, National League Central, just at least temporarily. So, a little bit of a disappointing week, but could be worse.
Yeah. Uh, Games are there to be won. We're not winning them all, but that happens. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Now that the fun of the season starting is over and some of these injuries are already hitting us, it's not as exciting as when we were winning 12 games in a row last year, but that's baseball.
Yeah, speaking of win streaks, the Cubs are looking to close out their ninth straight, so that doesn't help. That's probably, in my opinion, the other team that you really need to be concerned about. Although all the teams in the NL Central really looks good, so um, Pirates are putting it together too, and even the Reds are doing some interesting things. Um, but looking at the week, kind of the theme so far of the not the theme, but one of the underlying themes of the season and this week, and we were just talking about it in our group chat, is the back end of the bullpen is kind of let us down. Heard on the radio broadcast after the game, they said in the 11 Brewers losses, five of them they've blown a lead in the seventh inning or later. So um, seemingly mostly that being the bullpen, not the starters, obviously, if not all of those games. So kind of a bummer. Games that are there to win, like you said. But looking at the week, um, Brewers won in 10 in a fun one against the Marlins on Friday. This was the debut of Coleman Crow. Um, 7-5 in 10 innings. Coleman Crow went 5 1/3, four strikeouts, four hits, two earned runs, one walk. So good start for him in his debut. Um, Bullpen looked good in that game at least. Uh, it was a 3-run top of the 10th for the Brewers. That was Rengifo, fielder's choice, and then a Garrett Mitchell double. That was the difference in the game. Saturday, another 5-2 win, like I mentioned, to push that winning streak to four. Terang had a 2-run homer. He stretched his on-base streak in that game to 18 games. Um, it was a start from Brandon Woodruff. He went 7 strong, four strikeouts, just one earned run. Woodford and Uribe finished that game off. Um, Offensively for the Brewers, like I mentioned, Terang had 3 runs batted in. Lockridge and Frelick chipped in one of their own each. And then Sunday, they lost the series finale. Mizorowski started against Yuri Perez. Miz went 5 innings with 9 strikeouts, just one earned. Offensively, Garrett Mitchell had an RBI. He's been really hot to start the year. He does strike out a bit, but he's driving in runs and he's getting on base. So, and then Gary Sanchez also super hot to fill in his role. Um, 2 runs batted in there. The Brewers headed to Detroit. They trounced the Tigers on Tuesday, 12-4. Um, it was, man, everyone was hitting really. Terang had 4 runs batted in. Contreras had two. Bowers, Sanchez, Mitchell, Rengifo, Frelick, and Perkins all had one. So spreading the love there. Kyle Harrison had a bit of an abbreviated start. He skipped a turn after having a sore wrist on that fall a week and a half ago. So he finally came back up and he looked fine. But short start. Grant Anderson once again might be the unsung hero. 2 innings, no runs, and then McGill, Ashby, and Woodford closed the door. Woodford kind of struggled in that one. Didn't really make it interesting because the lead was so big, but um, he's probably one more bad outing away from us never seeing him again. He already made it longer than I thought he might. Wednesday, Tigers won 5-2. Um, Casey Mize looked really good. Um, a guy who over the past few years was a top pick, was supposed to be really good and then kind of broke out a little bit last year. Now it looks like he might be carrying that over into a second year. He went 6 innings, had 7 Ks. Brewers couldn't really figure him out. Only 3 hits. Um, the runs in that game came from a Contreras RBI single and a Bowers RBI single then late in the eighth. but they were not able to close the gap there. And then today, unfortunately, facing Tarek Skubal in the first of back-to-back games against Cy Young winners with Skenes coming to Milwaukee tomorrow. Unfortunately, they went down early. Sprout gave up a two-run homer to Riley Green, the baseball player, not the singer. They scored one in the fourth on a Sanchez double, following a Contreras double. The catcher's getting it done. But despite putting up three in the seventh on Skubal, including Perkins, hadn't had a hit in about 2 weeks. Um, chasing Skubal out of the game, just not being able to get the job done because Zerpa came in and gave up a run, and then Uribe gave up a walk-off home run. So once again, those guys at the back end. McGill's had a couple sharp outings recently, but Uribe's kind of been flip a coin, really. And Zerpa has been fine sometimes, but sometimes he's been known to blow up. So, and obviously you're missing Koenig too. So you feel better about the lineup when you get Churio and Yelich back for sure. You feel good about the rotation when you get Priester back with the other guys who've been pitching well. But that back in the bullpen is starting to really scare me, in my opinion. That's the one thing I'm legitimately concerned about.
Yeah, I mean, we know the guys are capable of it, but they're definitely not giving us a reason to be confident in them right now. So I agree. Hopefully, it's one of those things with relievers they can make a little tweak or just, I don't know, fix a mindset and they'll be all right. But yeah, not as comfortable as we've been the last however many years as a Brewers fan with the back end. But again, we know the guys are capable of it, so hopefully they can figure it out. But yeah, just another blah week, but nothing we can complain about. Um, and just got to keep rolling. Hopefully we can take care of the Pirates. We know we got Skeen's number, right?
Yeah, that's right. He's kind of
Yeah, he
been, I know,
sucks.
yeah, I know the first start wasn't his fault. That was kind of an O'Neal Cruz thing this year. But his last couple of starts have been nothing crazy flashy. Nothing that we know that he can do, really. So who knows? Maybe we'll catch him before he's fully
Yeah.
ramped up.
Well, I mean,
Uh,
even today we had 7 hits and 4 earned on Scoobs.
yeah. But yeah, just looking at the standings and then the upcoming schedule. So Brewers are sitting in the cellar, not a place that they've been accustomed to in recent years, but 13 and 11. Um, I feel like you take 13 and 11 knowing how many guys we've had injured. But unfortunately, it could be a lot better than that. Um, the Reds are leading the division by a half game, at least for now. I don't know if this is updated or if the Cubs finished their game, but um, I don't know. The Reds to me don't scare me as much as the Cubs and the Pirates, but they are a good team and they do have good players for sure. Um, the Pirates have I've changed my mind a little bit. I know I still don't know if they'll make the playoffs, but they're doing some good things and their roster's semi intriguing to me. And they're coming to town this weekend, so that's the big weekend. There's a laser show or something for Star Wars night tomorrow night. There's a giveaway on Saturday. Skeens is in town. The Young Pirates, Connor Griffin.
When's
So
the laser show start? I gotta figure out
uh,
when to show up.
after the game,
All right, I'll roll in about the ninth.
um, yeah. So it goes. Pirates are in town, and then Diamondbacks. So that's the next homestand. And then those pesky Nationals, we go to DC then. So shit.
Oh, Weimer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's just a weird time in the league right now, period. Like a lot of teams are trying to figure out what they are. The Red Sox are stinking. The Mets obviously are not doing well. The NL West is a question mark still, I think, behind the Dodgers. There's just a lot of teams that I mean, yeah, even the Phillies have been bad. Like I don't know, the early season's been interesting. There's obviously a lot of time for teams to figure it out and start accumulating wins, but I don't know what to think about the start of this year, honestly. Like, yeah, weird teams stepping up and winning enough games, and some of the favorites are not looking so hot. And then teams like the Braves, who have like all of their rotation out, except for a couple guys, are somehow winning games and getting it done. So it's weird.
Yeah, it is interesting. I know, like at least the Yankees are heating up now. They won five in a row. because other than that, every team in the American League has 11 or more losses, which is the same as the Brewers do. So just to your point, just interesting. 15-9 for the Yankees, and then um, yeah, the West, like we mentioned, Padres and Dodgers are starting hot, but like Cubs started cold, but now they're likely about to win their ninth straight game. It's interesting. The standings don't obviously it's April 23rd, but the standings don't look exactly the way that you're expecting them to at the end of the year. Like A's are leading the AL West, Red Sox at the bottom of the AL East, like you said. So interesting stuff. The Mets finally got a win after 12 straight losses. That's notable too. Um, man, the whole I know we talked about this before, but it's interesting seeing David Stearns thrive in Milwaukee, and then not that this is all on him for sure, but seeing him thrive in Milwaukee, and then you think, oh, the cheat code is to have a David Stearns and have money, and then they just you can't really figure it out. They made that one NLCS when they broke our hearts, but um, other than that, it's been kind of disappointing for David Stearns' tenure there. Former Brewer Devin Williams has been terrible, frankly, since he
I
left the
don't know
Brewers.
how Freddie's been there either, honestly. I think he's
He's
been
been okay.
fine.
Yeah, no, not quite as good as last year, but he's been fine. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but
Yeah, because I think McLean's still been good, and I don't know. It's weird that they've been as bad as they've been, but
well, if you look at their offense,
yeah,
like Beatty and Semien and Benj and who else? Like all of
yeah.
them
It's
have
just
just
weird
been
because none of those guys I would really expect to be good. So I guess I don't know what they were thinking they were
yeah. Well,
gonna
they
get.
lost Alonso too.
Well,
Polanco's hurt.
they lost him, but they chose to lose him, you know?
Oh,
So
for
it's not
sure, for
like
sure.
yeah, so it's a Stearns thing, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I know a lot of people don't like Alonso, but I personally do. And I kind of like that it bites him in the ass to get rid of him because he clearly wanted to be there, and that isn't they don't grow those guys on trees. Um, but
Well, it is
hey,
odd. You bring in Semien, and it seemed like they were having Polanco playing first
yeah, it's
instead
all
of just
weird.
bringing back Alonso. To your point, like
And
so.
like, I really don't get the Semien thing. Like, he has not looked good in recent years, and there's a
Mhm.
lot of money on that contract. And Nimmo had looked good and was also like a whatever 10-year Met. Like,
Hmm.
and if I recall, I think they actually gave money in the deal too, which you would
Yeah,
think
I think you're
they
right.
would have made the Rangers pay down Simeon's deal. Like, Simeon seems like a good leader, still can play good defense at second, but I mean, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it's just a interesting case study, like with the whole Stearns thing. I would have thought Stearns to the Mets with the infinite money would have been a cheat code, but guess it wasn't. It's just weird how the thinking shifts. Like he never in a million years would have traded for Semien,
Yeah,
like
I mean, I do
Milwaukee.
wonder
I don't
too,
know.
though. I think it's a unique situation there with ownership, and I'm sure
Oh
they
yeah,
he has opinions too. But yeah,
for sure.
whatever.
All right, for the Brewers week against the Marlins and the Tigers, who is your hot hitter of the week?
Oh, stop dropping on fire, Ricky Bobby. I'm on fire. He's so hot right now.
I didn't really count today, which it probably wouldn't affect a lot of the guys that were near the top anyways. So I'm gonna give it to Renjifo. Name we haven't got to say a lot. So four singles, two doubles. I don't think he had a hit today, but four runs, two RBI, three walks, a steal. He had a really good week.
Yeah,
So
oh,
I'm happy to get to say his name.
0 for 3 today, and only a 179 batting average, but he did have a really good week.
Yeah. Otherwise, there are a couple other guys. Lockridge has been playing really well too, which probably makes the front office feel a little bit better about the drama at first when they kept him up instead of Perkins. So hope he keeps rolling.
Gary Sanchez has been a guy with some clutch hits, just doing what he needs to do. You can't ask for much more of a backup catcher starting to just DH and play first base, one or the other every day. So also notably, Renjifo's playing first base. You got to like blink and make sure it's not Eric Thames when
Yeah.
he stands over at first base.
And you got to squint a little just because he's a little smaller. But
Yeah, well, so's
yeah.
Thames.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Um,
I will say too, I think David Hamilton had a couple hits today, and he's just been super solid. Like Definitely not a step down from what we expect out of Mona. I don't think so.
Yeah,
Happy to have him around too, and I mean, it seems like he's happy to fill whatever role.
yeah.
But at the
Um,
same time, when we're doing our hot hitter segment and it's Brandon Lockridge, Luis
yeah.
Rengifo, and David
That's what I was
Hamilton,
gonna
it's not always the best sign.
that's what I was gonna say. I like Hamilton. It would be really nice if we had a
How about Jahmai Jones? Sorry,
legit,
random, but he had
yeah.
that homer today. He's been hot the last couple of years.
He
Randomly,
had
he'll like go
one
on these stretches.
he had one
Interesting
robbed
career.
too the other night.
Well, barely, right? Wasn't that the super casual one?
Yeah. That
Yeah, it
was
was
yeah.
like, yeah.
Um Yeah, I guess the other notable thing is Terang first his on base streak came to an end today. 0 for 4. And that dated back to last year, but it was every game he played in this year. Contreras is hitting over 300. Good to see. I know he mentioned before that finger feels better. Obviously, that must have been the difference last year with his slow start. Um, or kind of slowish season. And then the other thing is Renhefo playing first base. Like I mentioned, just um, you don't know when you're going to get Vaughn back, so you're probably going to see a lot of Renhefo and Sanchez over there, I guess, especially against lefties and good lefties. Who was your untouchable pitcher of the week?
You fellas are untouchable. Is that the thing? No one can get to you?
I'm gonna give it to Grant Anderson. You were talking about him. My grandpa was real mad he was on our roster last year, even though he was had like a 2 ERA in the back end of our pen. But yeah, Grant Anderson got a big out today. I think that then made him have 4 innings pitched on the week, surrendered 1 hit, had 2 strikeouts, and gave up 1 walk. So um, yeah, nothing's a sure thing in the pen right now, but he's actually been pretty smooth. So. Shout out Grant Anderson. I know he likes to hunt raccoons and such as well. So anytime I can talk about Grant Anderson hunting a little bit, I think DL Hall does too. Opener DL Hall, starter, I should say. Let's not talk about DL Hall.
Yeah, that is something I want to bring up at some point is revisiting the Corbin Burns trade. And we can do that in a minute,
Yeah,
maybe.
Corbin Burns doesn't have an elbow, and we still might have lost it.
Yeah,
No, we got the
we,
pick. We got the pick. We got the pick.
we did get the pick. That is true. The Blake Burke pick is hopefully going to pay dividends. But yeah, DL Hall has been a fine reliever for a year plus now, but Joey Ortiz has not been good, unfortunately. And I don't know that I feel like you'd rather just have Burns for a year than just a okay reliever. Maybe not. I don't know. He's got time, still got control.
Yeah, it
Uh,
wouldn't have mattered. It is what it is. And yeah, I think there's still something there for Hall, but obviously rooting for Joey O, but I'm not sure
yeah.
there.
Brandon Sprout started a little shaky today, but he calmed down, locked in a little bit. So that's 2 decent starts in a row. I feel like he's probably gonna get bumped from the rotation when we're at full strength, maybe, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he'll keep putting it together, and find a place for himself in the major league rotation or as a long reliever. I don't know if maybe Chad is a guy who goes back
That's what I
to
was
the
gonna
long
say.
relief role.
It
He
seems like
just
they
seems
don't
to
really
be
want him to stay out there that long anyways.
yeah.
So maybe he slides out and then Sprout just stays in, but who
Hmm.
knows? Coleman Crow better not look so good, otherwise he's gonna have an argument. It's kind of fun to watch him pitch too. Personally, I think it's kind of a different it's not Miz pumping 100, right? It's
Hmm.
a different approach, and a pretty curveball. So
Yeah, notably optioned right away
yep.
after the game. So
And
we will see him again soon, I'm sure.
yeah, sorry, I guess I'm jumping ahead, but speaking of minor league starters, Logan Henderson's been pitching kind of shorter outings too, and I've kind of seen some more rumblings about him getting in this rotation. And I know our org likes him as a starter. He's performed at the major league level, so yeah, we still have a lot of depth at that spot, which makes it interesting. But yeah, the AAA rotation's good right now.
Yeah, it's like we've talked about. It would be interesting to just bring up some of the AAA rotation and just do like a piggyback situation if our short relievers are not performing. But yeah, with Coleman Crow and Chad Patrick and Hall and Ashby and Henderson and all those guys, just you think if no one can really give you length, wouldn't hurt to do it that way. I don't know. the Brewers are always the cutting edge pitching like example in the major leagues, whether it's piggybacks or openers or the pitching lab. So if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be the Brewers. So yeah, I'm excited to see some of these guys again and get Quinn Priester back. Although I don't know how soon that's going to be.
Well, I think he's on rehab, so I'm sure he's got to
Yeah.
build up a while. But
Hmm.
yeah, I'm also just really hoping Quinn Priester stays what we saw last year because everyone knows there's some of those pitchers that have it for a year and then whatever it was leaves, and I'm hoping that's not the case for him because he was one of the most sure things last year. I feel like when he was on the mound, you knew what you were gonna get. Defense could play behind him, and you were good to go.
Craig Yoho is another guy we brought up when we were talking today about guys in the back end. I thought Craig Yoho might be the next guy after Devin Williams. He was just reinstated from the IL in AAA, so he's back in Nashville. We'll see. I'm sure we'll see him on the roster at some point this year. But anything else around the farm besides Craig Yoho's reinstatement?
If it hadn't been for those meddling kids. If it hadn't been for you meddling kids. Ah, meddling kids. If it hadn't been for these meddling laddies.
Yeah, I was just gonna. It's still early enough in the season. I feel like you can just kind of run through some overall stats. So, um, Josh Adamszewski has a 1.25 OPS, so he is getting after it in high A. Braylon Payne's got a 1.1 OPS, so those two guys are lighting up the outfield for your T-Rats. So get there if you can. Dylan O'Reilly was a guy I think I talked about a couple of years ago now. He's a smaller Canadian. I think he's a middle infielder. Might be playing outfield now though. Got to double check, but big contact tool there, and he's got a 1.026 OPS, so he's getting it done. Blake Burke, we were just talking about, 994 OPS, fueled by lots of home runs to start the year. Luis Pena, Jesus Mate still getting after it. Marco Dingus getting after it. Luis Lara. So it's kind of cool. Like all of the top performers are some of the top prospects in the org too. Um, and then, yeah, I mean, a number of guys getting after it. Fisher starting to heat up a little bit. And then on the pitching side, Will Childers is in Nashville, and he's a reliever. He's thrown 10 innings so far this year, hasn't given up a run, has almost 12K per nine. So maybe that's a guy they bookmark too to throw in the pen as needed. But um, yeah, the
Did you?
lots of talent on the farm, like we tend to talk about.
Yeah, Luis Lara. I'm ready to see him in the bigs. He's crushing it down in AAA. But um, Luis Pena last night,
Yeah, I
actually.
don't know what have
Kind of a
you.
scary situation, but it seems like he's all right.
Yeah, I haven't seen as much of the follow up.
I just saw that they said it was like an overheating thing, which is better than I
It's
guess
not what
what
happens to me
could
when
have.
I overheat.
Yeah, better than what could have been. He I guess collapsed in the dugout. So sounds from the little we saw from the beat writers, he's okay. So hopefully he's actually okay. Scary situation for sure. Oh, I see right now. So a club official says he was released from the hospital this morning, and he's fine. So yeah, kind of a scare. But uh, did you say Dylan O'Reilly's name?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. I was just
Does it
checking
say
that.
what position he's playing now? I
It
thought
does
he was
not.
playing center and middle infield when I first had looked into him. So let me quick look that
Okay.
up.
Um,
He's a
yeah,
Canadian too, I believe. He's part of our
right.
Canadian pipeline. Looks like he's. Got to see what
Yeah,
he's playing this year because he's listed at all those positions.
we were talking about Tyler Black.
Yeah,
He was the guy who it would finally be his chance with Vaughn and Yelich both hurt.
I think I saw he
Uh,
had a good game the other day.
well, he just got back from being injured, so.
Yeah. Well, it seems like that's kind of his bread and butter, being injured. Okay. Arrays primarily played second base like the last 2 years, it looks like. So, um, I think that's what I said originally. He's a little guy. Let me see how big he is. Yeah, 5'8". Yeah, he's he's
Brewers have a
got Brew
type.
written all over him.
They have a type. I'm telling you, with that national anthem the other day, all the position players, it was like the same exact build. Yeah, well, if anyone on the farm would like to come up and play infield besides second base, I wouldn't mind it. We're making do with what we have, but um, I'm ready for Vaughn, Churio, and Yelich to come back, and I'm ready for whoever, Fisher or Pena or Madej or Burke or whoever wants to come help us out on the infield for sure.
Yeah, too bad the guys that seem primed to be those guys aren't quite fired up yet, but hopefully that'll
Yeah,
work
they're
itself
just
out.
they're just all like a tick away, it seems like. And then I was just looking today because we were talking about after Joey Ortiz cut that ball in the first inning just for no reason. Like, wow, I'm getting really sick of Joey Ortiz. Like looking at like Jet Williams is really cold and Cooper Pratt is really cold. So they unfortunately the guys who make the most sense seemingly are not ready yet. So hopefully that changes. Excited to see Cooper Pratt and Jet Williams because Cooper Pratt has 80 million less reasons to be held down until the Super 2 arbitration or Super 2 deadline. So all right. I don't know if you got anything else from around the league. I know we kind of talked standings a little bit. Um, I don't know if there's anything in specific. I was kind of looking recently at like Garrett Crochet was interesting to me. I know we talked about the other two of the big three of these guys, kind of struggling to start the year. I know the Brewers saw him, but don't know what to make of that. Obviously, it doesn't really affect us very much. I was just thinking about it and it was interesting. As far as the NL Central in general, the Cubs obviously lost Kate Horton and they're still waiting to get Justin Steele back, but Shota kind of kicked it back up a notch. So something to monitor there. I kind of thought the league was figuring him out a little bit last year, but maybe that's not the case.
Yeah, I think he's still kind of got his home run issues, so he'll have his days, but I don't know. Not that I like any Cubs, but I kind of like Shota. He's fun.
Yeah,
So
for sure. Um, did you see the Andrew McCutchen interview?
I did not.
Oh, okay. Some like one of the Rangers beat writers, I'm assuming, kind of cornered him and was like essentially like, do you see yourself like having a good relationship with the Pirates in the future? And like, I don't know, it was super awkward. I'm probably doing a terrible job of paraphrasing it now, but it was why'd they force you out?
Yeah.
Uh, Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of odd. It was an odd thing to me to ask him in front of his Rangers locker right now,
Yeah.
frankly. He seemed pretty mad, which is totally understandable, but it was just kind of an awkward situation to put him in because like he's not retired. He's a Texas Ranger right now, even if he's started the year bad. So I didn't like that. I love Kutch. It'll always be cool, even though it's kind of a joke. The Brewers expanding the payroll to get him. It'll be always be cool to say that Andrew McCutchen was a Brewer for sure. Seems like a cool dude. Um, but yeah, interesting interview there. Like this tweet says, asked Andrew McCutchen about though this is from Colin Beasley. Asked Andrew McCutchen about those in Pittsburgh that are disappointed he's not a part of what could be the best Pirates team in years. It was followed by a question about Kutch's long-term relationship with the Pirates. His answer was, "We'll see." So, I mean, yeah, why are you asking a dude like, what do you think about missing the Pirates' best season? Like, I don't know. It would be different if he
Yeah.
was retired, I guess. I don't know. Didn't like it.
Yeah. I mean, it was just seems probably looking for clicks, sort of, but I do still think they effed him. Like, I don't get
Oh,
why
for sure.
they did
For
what
sure.
they did. He should
Yeah,
have kind of had
especially
a,
after he came back and then said like, "Yeah, I made a mistake leaving. I wish I would not made a mistake, but I wish I would have stayed."
yeah. And I mean, he wasn't bad last year.
No, no, he
But
wasn't bad. So
yeah, I don't know. Pirates are a weird org.
they are. It's yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do. They have like we said, they got an interesting pitching staff and O'Neal Cruz offensively is exciting. Connor Griffin is so young, but is going to be exciting. Ozuna, obviously, from a baseball standpoint, was a good get at DH, but um, not at the expense of Mr. Pirate of this generation, frankly, honestly. But um, I don't know what else you have or just final thoughts. Did we talk about last week Robert Gasser? He was dealing with some bicep soreness. Um,
I
whatever
don't think
happened with
so.
him?
Yeah,
That
I
was
don't.
that was earlier this season, but that was a name that we mentioned a couple weeks ago, and I was curious right now, just looking through our notes, if he had pitched again.
Yeah, I guess kind of random talking about some of the depth in the org. Like, who are the in some of the holes we have? Like, it's the way too early. What would you or who would you like to acquire, and who would you not necessarily who would you give up because that's obviously up to the front office. But
Who
I'm
would I like to
curious,
see
who
the
you think that
Brewers
you can like
acquire?
plug? Yeah,
Oh man. Well, we did talk about this week how we'd gladly take an Otto Lopez or a Xavier Edwards from the Marlins. Um, it's
yeah. I
kind of
guess
weird.
it'll have to work itself out too who the true contenders are. I know one thing that I don't think is going to happen, but in the off season there was like rumblings of CJ Abrams, and that dude has started crazy hot, and our team would look a whole lot different with a plus bat like that playing shortstop. But who knows what he would cost now? And
Yeah.
obviously, I think was it Ryan who said it, but and we've talked about it. It's like we have all this depth at the positions we honestly need. It's just it's not quite there yet. Like no
Mhm.
one makes sense to push into the lineup yet. So it's just like this really weird middle ground. So I don't know if the org is going to have to decide who they believe in a little bit more and deal one of the other, prospects at the same spot or what. But it's a weird situation.
Nothing's guaranteed either. That's the other scary thing though, is like these guys can all be top prospects, but nothing's necessarily guaranteed that they're all going to come up and be
No, exactly.
impact bats. So yeah, I wouldn't mind them at some point making a move. Feels like it's been a couple years of like, man, where you just keep piecemealing together this infield and we're waiting on some prospects and like obviously it's been successful, but at a certain point when you
Well,
have
we acquired Luis Matos for our washing machine.
yeah, right. What coffee black is that
Yep.
from
No, Coffee Black wouldn't get traded for a washing machine. He was
who
good.
yeah, who was the
It
one who got
was
traded?
the player coach.
Yeah.
Don't remember his name.
Great movie.
That is a great. It's a slept on film.
All right. Any final thoughts?
I was just thinking about what your beer of the week was.
Let me buy a beer. Sure. These fans, I love them. When I came in, they didn't recognize me at first, but then when I told them who I was, next thing you know, they're buying me my favorite beer. Thanks. Hey, it's a pleasure to buy a beer for a great pitcher like Whitey Ford. Hey, so I lied.
Oh man. I haven't been drinking much beer
What about Mrs. Saunders? Does she have a
with
beer of the week?
the pregnant roommate. I haven't been drinking too much beer. That's kind of awkward now. You're putting me on the spot. Oh man, I haven't drank any beer since your wedding. What was
You
I
got
drinking
any
at
got
your
any
wedding?
NAs maybe that you're really liking?
No, I think last week we talked about Yingling, and that's what I
Yeah.
drank the other day too. The one time I had a beer the other day. So, I don't know what should we look out for when we go to the beer garden by your house? What do they got? What kind of
Oh, lots of good
beer?
German beer.
I
Probably
say that.
some. I know it's a Hofbrau sponsored thing, so I guess they'd have some stuff from them. There's the Weinhofstallen or whatever. It's like the world's oldest brewery. That's in German beer. It's good stuff. Maibach is coming out. My Fest is coming around. Um, yeah, you were talking about it right before we got on, but what a nice day it is today. The Milwaukee is starting to feel like summer in baseball. It's not just close the roof and wear your sweatshirts. It's starting to feel a little bit um,
Yeah, the
like
pollen's
baseball.
kicking my ass.
Yeah, me too.
Not even just went outside for a couple minutes before and I can't do it. Not built for it.
It's nice when I walk the dog and I look at the kids playing baseball and it's not 30 degrees anymore. I'm
Yeah.
happy that they can actually play baseball in baseball weather.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's we need something exciting to happen. Need a run, need a sweep, need a acquisition, someone just to get crazy hot. I don't know. But I guess one thing I'm curious about is if like I guess Joey O probably doesn't have much value anyways, and I'm obviously still rooting for him, but curious if they'd like play David Hamilton at short for the year and let a plus bat or something fill in at third or wherever. I guess we have Renhevo. I don't know. We're in a weird spot.
Yeah, it would be helpful if Renhefo was like 2 years ago, Renhefo, but he
Yeah.
hasn't been yet. Still really early. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Like with Ortiz going to Arb next year, obviously he's not going to be due a big raise, but
Yeah, can
like,
you make less than minimum once you go to ARB?
yeah, like I don't know. Like, do you just let him walk? Like, I don't know. I guess that depends on where the prospects are at, but
Yeah, and it depends on the rest of the year, but it's tough to
it's
imagine him getting back to what he was his first year. But his first, it was weird. Like he was a fine bat when he was playing third.
he won Rookie of the Month in like May of his first year
He
here.
probably won the Brew Crew Scoop Hot Hitter of the Week a time or two.
Give me Keston Hira at short.
Uh,
Just kidding.
I wonder what he's
Just
doing.
kidding.
Lighting up some softballs somewhere?
Yeah, probably. All right. I think we've overstayed our welcome.
I
Go Brewers.
agree. Go Brewers.